Okay. Last month when I like hearing what these youth are talking, right? Okay, they mostly speak about this FIFA World Cup as it happened last month. Maybe I have few questions which I can ask, which is related to football. Any football fans or those who are interested in football? I see Mark speak a lot. Uh, do you know how, on an average, a football player in the ground, um, how many kilometers he run? Any guesses also is fine. Not the speed, how many kilometers, like how much distance they'll run. Okay. On an average, each football player runs around 9 to 13 kilometers in those 90 minutes. Uh, yeah, do you guys think like it is easy to run these many kilometers without practice? No, no, right? And that too, they have to concentrate on uh, who is passing the balls to them, and then they have to shoot the goals. They have to pass the ball to others, and then they also see others. They have to tackle other players also from the opposite team. So it is not easy, right? Mhm. uh, is- Talent is enough. I mean, only talent is enough to be in a stage to play at the world level or in the World Cup level. Is it talent alone is enough? No, right? They have to do practice, enough practice, and then they have to leave few things behind. Maybe um, they might have. Let us say if now when we after eating this much food, we had biryani, right? Now, if we want to play, can we play like them? We will not anywhere near. We will not play up to their standard, right? Because they have sacrificed so many things in their life. They have left so many things behind in their life. They were able to play at the international level. In the same way, we will see like few people from Bible who left something in the behind, and then how like what they have achieved by leaving these things. Maybe we first go to Abraham, like we go to Genesis chapter 12, uh, verse 1, 2, and 4. Genesis chapter 12, verse 1, 2, and 4. Anyone can help me, like in reading? Uh, Verse 2 and also 4. And verse 4. Yeah, if you see here, right, Lord is asking Abraham to leave his country, and he's asking to go like the place that God has shown to him. He doesn't know what the place is, but what he did is he uh, obeyed to the call that Lord has given, and then he uh, left his homeland. It is not easy, right, to leave your own country and live in another country, and like they also don't know, like he also don't know like where he's going. So, but he still obeyed, and he heard the Lord voice, and he started journeying, right. And later part when he's journeying, if you see, he has all human. Um, what human behavior or instincts that he have. Like he has fear, he doubts, and then he also um, at times he also lies. Maybe we see like what he did in Genesis chapter 12, verse 16, 17. If you see this passage, right, he will say that Sarah is her sister because he's scared. Uh, because as you have read, right, they might harm him, and then so that is the reason he lied here. If you see Genesis chapter 20, verse 2, yeah, here also he's saying the same thing that she is my sister. Previously, also he said the same thing. God somehow saved him, or in the next time when he's also saying this that she is his um, sister to the king of Abimelech. Um, in this also, if you see, God has saved him, um, and like he said to the Abimelech, he comes in dream to Abimelech, and then the king of Abimelech, and he explained like the one which you are planning to marry or something is not your is wife of other, which is Abraham. So if you see these two instances, he is like a normal human. Although God had called him, uh, um and he appointed him, right, but he's still like us. He's scared, um, and also he lied. He's like normal human. But if you see later part of his life, which is Genesis chapter 22, I you maybe you all know these things, but I'm just saying them again. 22, sorry, yeah. 22 verse 2 and verse 2, yeah. Yeah, and then verse 12. If you see this instance, right, previously we see him like he's scared of his life and he say lies or he hide things. But when it comes to now, it is like um, he is willing to offer his own son, the one which whom he liked more than himself, is willing to offer his son to the Lord. What does it say is like um, he's grown in his faith from time to time, and then by this time he reached to the pinnacle, understanding like what God can do in his life. In similar way, right? Maybe we have something in our um, heart, or God is speaking with you regarding something which you're still not willing to take a decision, or you are not willing to leave it behind, and then you are saying some, or you are hiding that, but Lord will help you to reach a place where like Abraham had made a decision or he decided like to offer his only son. Um, so this is one of the example, and then we see maybe we see James chapter 2 verse 21 22. Yeah, if you see like uh, just faith or obeying to him is not enough, right? You have to do works. Uh, when Lord called Abraham, right, he might have said like, "Okay, I'll come," and then he just stayed there. That is also possible, right? He might be hearing this, and then he doesn't want to come, and then he stayed there itself. But what decision he took is he started coming out. So he's doing some action. Like these football players, right? We also when we were young or something, right? We want to play this game, that game. We were like for me, I like cricket. So in the similar way, like we want to do this thing, right? But if you're not doing any action towards that, I think God cannot help you. You have to be faithful and then start doing action. Maybe we see in another godly man. We turn our Bibles to Hebrews chapter 11, verse 24 to 27. We all know these verses. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 24 to 27. Yeah, if you see here, right, it says about Moses. We know the story of Moses, right? He is in the palace of Egypt, but when uh, God called, or when he decided like this is not his place, he just moved out of it. Right? Palace is a great thing to stay, right? If you are in the lineage of king, then you have all things in your hand. Like you have power to do, you have status, you have money to do things. But he thought it is not important, and he left that place. And if you see Exodus chapter 2, verse 11, if you see here, he saw uh, the burdenness of his brothers, and then he doesn't want to just see, right? He took an action. If you see verse 3, chapter 1, I mean, chapter 3, verse 1 in Exodus. Yeah, so as soon as he did this like for his brothers, uh, the king wants to find him, and then he ran away, and then now he's doing what he's doing is um, kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, and then we can see like he's there for 40 years at that position. This also shows us, right, when God is calling you or you're obeying, right, and then he can put you in test. Like if you see this 40 years, and then when it comes to Moses, the similar position, right, when we compare ourselves also, there might be delay also when God is granting your things. If you see, he stayed there for 40 years. And then later part, if you see Exodus chapter 3, verse 2 to 4. Exodus chapter 3, verse 2 to 4. If you see these three verses, then here we understand like Lord is calling him again, and he's responding for the call that the Lord has given. And if you see his life also, he has doubts after the Lord called him. You can see it in Exodus chapter 4, verse 10. Here he's saying that I'm slow of speech and of slow of tongue and of a slow tongue. Okay, this also says like he's also doubting himself. Um, when Lord called you out of this world and when you believed in Lord Jesus Christ, and then you made a decision to follow Him, and your faith will grow day by day. Although you have doubts now or you have questions now, you thought like why I have left this thing. I used to spend a lot of time on this. I used to enjoy. Now I left it, and then still I'm not like still I have so many doubts. But Lord will help you in your faith in your journey. Um, if you see in all the great things that the Moses has done, right? He did one thing um, which is recorded in the history, and it is like it never happened before. If you see, like it is the um, Red Sea, which he make a way in the Red Sea, right? If you see that part, it is Exodus chapter 11. Sorry, Exodus chapter 14, verse 21 and 22. Hmm. Yeah, if you see, like he said, he has, uh, like he can't speak well, right? Now, if you see how he's doing a great thing, breaking or dividing a sea by just a word, like by just a word. Uh, so this shows like even we now have so many doubts, right? Lord will help you to grow further, and then you also do great things by having faith on the Lord. Maybe we see another person here who also left his thing and followed the Lord, and he also did great things. Um, let's turn to Luke chapter 5, verse 10 and 11. Yeah. So if you see here, we see like three of the disciples that Lord has called: Peter, James, and John. Maybe we see only uh, about Peter now. Um, you can also see in you can also see like he called Matthew also, but we see Peter. Maybe the next verse is John chapter 21, verse 3. Yeah, if you see this right, he also Peter also when Lord called, he followed him, but he has so many doubts. He also lied. If you see, um, when he say like he doesn't know Lord like Jesus Christ for three times, right? And also if you see, he also uh, went back after Lord left, right? After uh, Jesus left or died, he also made a decision to go back and um, do the fishing again. He at times, right, we take a decision. We were like we thought to leave that particular thing. It may be anything, like you are listening to your music, which is worldly music, which is also not good according to the God side, right? Also, um, there's so many things which you can do. You see the Instagram or any other. You're spending time with your mobile. Um, all these things, you made a decision um, to leave it, but somehow you like started doing it again. But if you see, Lord will not leave you unless you are um, completely rejecting Him. When God came again to Peter, right, now He listens. If you see, John chapter 21, verse 15 to 17. Yeah, if you see here, right now, Lord is calling him or asking him again three times whether he loves him or not, and he said yes. And if you see at then, Lord says, "Feed my sheep." So, and then we also know like the history what Peter has done, right? So, if you see these three people here, right? If let us say Abraham made a decision to leave his country, and if he didn't leave, I mean, if he didn't obey to the Lord, right, then what would happen? We will never know who is Abraham, correct? And then also for Moses, if he continued to stay in the palace, uh, we don't know like how many kings or princes that we know from Egypt, right? He would have stayed in the history, but not known like now. Also, Peter, when he didn't want to leave his nets, right? He would have been a fisherman all through his life, and he would have not known to the world. So when you try to obey what Lord say and leave the things that He's asking you to leave, and then Lord will help you in the journey until you reach uh, at a place where you do great things for the Lord, and then you will be recorded in the history. Um, Maybe we'll see one more person from the Bible, Ruth chapter 1. Yeah, 6, verse 6, chapter 1, verse 6. Yeah, so You know the story, right? Naomi is from Bethlehem, but he's staying in Moab, and then her daughter-in-law is Ruth. And then if you read further, you will come to know like Ruth made a decision to leave um, Moab and then go to Bethlehem along with her mother-in-law. When she made a decision, right, it is difficult for her to leave her place. She also, it is also difficult for her to leave her place, right? But she never hesitated, um, and she obeyed. She thought to be with her mother-in-law, and then you can understand like what is her end stage. If you see Ruth chapter 4, verse 17. Yeah. So he's into the genealogy of David. And if you further see in Matthew chapter 1, mm, uh, verse 5. Now, if you see, this is the genealogy of Lord Jesus Christ, right? She's also added into the genealogy of Lord Jesus Christ. Um, if you see, like it can be mentioned. I mean, what the Lord has written here is Booz begat Obed of Ruth. If you see Abraham begat Isaac, there is no mentioning of Sarah here. But if you see this particular verse, right, there is mention of Ruth here. This shows like when you take a decision in when Lord asks you to do or Lord asks you to take, um, when you obey to it, right, He will help you. He'll guide you. Maybe Ruth doesn't know when she's on the earth that she'll be in the genealogy of she's going to be in the genealogy of Jesus Christ. But later, now when we see the history, right, it's recorded that she is in the genealogy of Jesus Christ, which is a blessing, right? In the similar way, when we also get promises every year, right? We have promises every year, and also when you were taking baptism, you have promises. Similarly, when Abraham got a promise, um, he believed in it, and he left few things, and then he is able to achieve that promise. In similar way, what we have to do is we go back home, take out our promises that we got, pray for it, and ask Lord, what is the thing that you want me to leave today? And if you take a decision to leave that, right, you will also be part of this. You may not see these things in now, right, but in your future generations, your kids, right, they will they'll come to see like, okay, my great grandfather who made a decision, and that is the reason we are still continuing in the Lord. And I'll just give one example from the Bible. Um, Matthew's chapter 19, Matthew Gospel, chapter 19, verse 16 to 22. Okay, so here you see there is a young man who is asking Jesus Christ himself how he can uh, be part of heaven or eternity. And then Lord asked him to do something, which is he like Lord Jesus Christ came to understand like his all his heart or all his thinking about his money. That is the one thing which he asked to leave him behind. But if you see his decision, what he made is he has so much of money and then he just don't want to leave it. So he's unable to take a decision now, and now we see him in the Bible as a rich young man who didn't take a decision when Lord asked him to take. Are you willing to be like this, or do you want to be like this, where when Lord is asking you to take a decision, you just reject Him, or you don't want to leave that the thing that Lord is asking? Um, you and if you see about this young man, he's not there, he's not mentioned anywhere in the Bible, and he became an example now, right? So in the similar way, we have to take when Lord is asking you to take a decision, obey to it, uh, and take a decision. It might be anything like um, some secret sin that you are committing and you are thinking that no one knows, or it might be a lustful eye, right? Like there are things in this young age which will try to attract you. There are so many attractive things, and all of us here, the elders who are here, right? They have gone through this, and we have experience on this, right? When you leave it, right, you will see what God can do um, in your life. And when you make a decision, it makes him happy. Although there are situations that comes in your life where you will have doubt, or where you say, or where you hide things, or where you go back to the sin again. But when is Lord asking you again, you just him, pray to him, accept it, leave it, and then Lord will help you. May the Lord bless this word.